Welcome back to Poor Decisions with Robyn and
Liv.
We have been gone from a little while, but you wouldn't have felt it because for once in our lives, we were organized.
We were organized. We were prepared.
Actually, unbelievable.
Yeah.
We were organized by... Actually, we didn't even push back our start date in the end.
No, we didn't.
Wow, we were so organized.
We ran with the one where I was not wearing a microphone because
Yeah.
our theory was we had Todd who had a microphone, we had Robyn who had a microphone, and then I was like, well, I talk loud enough, you guys are going to hear me.
Actually, the idea was that me and Todd speak in a lower tone than you do.
Yeah.
So we thought, like, your little high-pitched voice
it
would be caught in the middle. And
it
that
wasn't.
It's not how to check. I'm sure that if we asked anyone, and there's going to be so many people who are just techie people, or even just having more than 3 brain cells, we're like, that's obviously not the case. That's why they put mics on everyone.
Well, why I think Robyn and I are so fun to listen to our one...
Because our mics aren't on?
To our 100 friends on here.
And my mum.
And your mum. And my mum doesn't even listen to it because she's ashamed of me. She literally, Poor Decisions is the name of the...
It's her middle name.
It's my middle name. And my mom knows it, so she doesn't listen to this. I don't even know what I was going to say, so we're off to a great start.
I'm just going to add in an "aw" sound after that.
Oh.
Let's go back to our names. Do we even say our names?
Yes,
I'm Robyn and...
I'm Liv.
Perfect. We are here. Liv, Poor Decisions, Nervo.
That's not my last name, but please don't say my last name because nobody knows my last name.
Well, there we go. It is her last name.
That's it.
There we go.
Nouveau.
Is that actually right?
No.
No. I was like, oh, that's actually a very cool last name.
No, it's not. That means new.
Oh, no, I do remember it. Never mind. She sounds like a detective, though.
I do.
Yeah, detective.
Like Clouseau, but not him.
Guess her surname in the comments.
Yeah,
guys.
guess it.
All right, so we've been away because Liv's been away on a little holidays. This is a little bit of a catch-up episode, and we're doing it at home today, in hell, because my apartment is approximately 110,000 degrees. We've got like multiple fans running, which did nothing. We opened the windows, which did nothing, and now we've put on lighting, which is doing a lot for what we didn't want, but we look cute. So there's that.
We're illuminated.
We're illuminated with sweat.
Yeah. I think my hair is like matted to my head.
Yeah.
But, you know, listen to the soothing, dulcet tones of our voices, and that's all that matters for a podcast.
Yeah, I did love watching you curl your hair in the bathroom before.
I know, and then it went flat.
I was like, oh, woman, that's such a waste of time.
I have no idea what I'm doing with my life.
And we'll be doing wine reviewing today.
Yes. We're doing a home episode because we're allowed to drink at home. Surprise!
I let people drink in my house.
Yeah, she's such a generous host.
Yeah, if you're nice.
And
you bring wine.
So we're doing a wine review today, and then we're doing a little catch up, and then we're going to be going through the art of embracing awkwardness. Because
we have a lot of
those moments. And I think I've mastered the art, to be fair.
Well, yeah. Before recording, Liv had said, like, I've got a couple stories, but I actually don't have any awkward moments. And I looked at her and I was like, Liv, your entire life has been one awkward moment back to back. That's why you can't identify the separateness of them.
So the problem is that when you're, like, so deluded, like I am, nothing's really ever awkward because it's just like, ooh, that didn't land. Ooh, okay. We'll just backtrack out of this conversation. It's not awkward for me because I don't care. Like, but again, if anybody doesn't know me, everything in my life is like a comedy. Like, it's all a joke. Just stop taking it seriously. I go like, bah, 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 and they're like, ooh. I'm like, this is a joke. Calm down.
Oh, I love that. I mean, never take yourself too seriously. I mean, I have thousands of stories. I think I've written so many down, and I even just like have those moments quite a lot. Although I had a funny moment the other day, which was like a comedy movie moment the entire way through, and I wish you were there for it.
I wish I was
and
there
I was
too.
going to the cinemas to watch Nosferatu with everyone. So I spent like about an hour and a half. No, it wasn't that long. I think it was 40 minutes total. Molding fangs to fit perfectly from the ones that I won. And I finally got them to fit and stuff. Oh, actually, cute moment first. Dora came, who's my 4-year-old, came and found me doing it. He was like, oh, Mummy, you're a vampire. which is
Glass.
it's made so many different versions of Twilight in my head. I know what you are. You're a vampire. But then later on in the day, when I was finally going to the movies, as always, I was late.
Of course.
And because Uber doesn't drop you off next to the cinemas, they drop you near like Nando's. You have to do like quite a big.
That's a big trek.
It's actually a big trek, yeah, when you're in heels, and
Yeah.
I'm always late, so it's actually quite a chunky walk.
Yeah.
So I'm running to the cinemas because I'm arriving like 5 minutes into like what is the viewing time, but you still that time, so you're fine. So I'm running in to go meet everyone, and I pass by a group of like middle-aged men. They go, "Looking good there, girl," but in a Kiwi accent.
Yeah, I was like, were they English?
And I turned around and went, because I had the fangs in. And this guy like jumps back, and this group of teenage girls are all cackling at watching this happen. And then I finally make it up like the escalator over to all my friends, and I was like, "Sorry, I'm late, guys."
That's funny. That is funny.
And that was all I had time for, because then I had to remove them to eat my popcorn, or else I would choke to death.
Yeah, and you needed to eat your popcorn because
of course.
Robyn with a box of popcorn, don't try and get in her way.
Oh, Dan like immediately put his little hand out to like, and I was like,
no.
I did have to share it with him because he knows that I didn't buy them because I was so late that everyone had sorted my snacks for me.
Oh, nice. That's generous.
But yeah, that's not even an awkward moment. That was just good fun.
No, that's just good fun. That's just comedy.
We'll delve into the actual awkwardness later.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, so I just got back from Canada and America, the US of A. Canada was amazing. It was my first time being back with my family for Christmas in like 7 years. Because I normally go back in summertime. Because it's nice weather and I don't like
I can't blame you. And also you're leaving New Zealand summer, which is such a toss-up because you've waited all year for it. Because New Zealand winter is just boring. It's not hard or anything. It's not cold. It doesn't snow. Like,
rains.
But it just rains. It's really boring and nothing happens. There's no Christmas. There's no New Year's. My birthday's not there. It's pretty boring. And then you get to the summer and you're like, whoa, everything this time of year, Christmas, New Year's, my birthday. It's all nice. It's so much happens in the summer. And then you're like, do I leave to go see my family for Christmas so I have a proper Christmas and miss out on the summer? Or do I stay and have the proper summer and miss out on Christmas? And then wait until New Zealand winter hits again.
Yeah, exactly. So for 7 years,
Rich people are listening to us and going, you just go on holiday.
Both. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that will be us.
Yeah. No, so every year for 7 years I've chosen to stay here because it's like, well, I did Italy for Christmas a couple times. That's like, argue with Italian Christmas markets? No, beautiful. But I've done it a couple times. It just never feels like Christmas because it's, I don't know, Christmas is so westernized with like the Santa Claus and the big suit and the reindeers and the snow, and then you're here and it's like sunny and 30 degrees and it's like, this does not feel like Christmas.
I never feel more English than when it hits Christmas time in this country, and then I see posters of Santa on a beach and I'm just like, he would never.
He's not been working on his beach body. But yeah, I've been gone for a month.
Yeah, not gonna lie, not to be mean or anything, but it flew by, which is like not to say, like, it just flew by. It flew. I think we were just so busy throughout that time.
Also for me, like,
it was crazy though that it flew so much. I saw you the other day and I was like, you just left.
I feel like I've been gone for 2 weeks. Yeah. Like, it was just like, because I did Calgary, Ottawa, and then I went to LA for a couple days, which...
Also, when you messaged me, so Liv landed in LA. Recent news, if you don't know what date it is right now, we're in January 2025. Liv messaged me, goes, I just landed in LA and now it's on fire. And I was like, what did you do? Because like,
it wasn't my fault, but it wasn't
anything.
It was very coincidental. I landed in LA and
it caught
on fire like within an hour. Like, I literally landed in LA and then it was like an hour later, wildfire spreads. And I was like, what have I done?
Yeah. And after you said this, obviously, then I looked at the news and everything and it was crazy, it was, like awful, so sad. So many people lost their homes, like very upsetting.
We make jokes about things because that's what we do. It was fucking horrible.
Oh,
like, we were watching because it was actually like really weird because I was staying with my friend Alexia, and we were watching the fires burn on the hills. But we weren't we weren't looking at the news because we were like, we have a fucking bird's eye view of what's happening.
Well, I knew you weren't looking at the news from the fact that we're gonna have to mention it because it's too on the point. Liv had like a date set up with a guy, And he'd said basically,
It
all
wasn't
my
a date.
friends, it was a date.
It wasn't a date.
Okay, it was a guy she's been on a date with.
No, never been on a date.
Okay, well, you did some stuff that sounded like a date. She had a time on date set up with the guy, and he cancelled it because his friends' houses were on fire, and Liv immediately like blocks him because she's like, liar, even though she just told me it was on fire. Like 2 days later, she's like, oh yeah, his like employer's house and like all of his friends' houses were in fact on fire.
Yeah.
So he wasn't lying. And I was like, Liv, I never for a second thought this guy was lying about this.
I just really thought he hated me that much.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a bit far, isn't it? It's like, that's like me being like, oh, I can't make it into work today. 3 orphans were drowning in the river and I had to save them. It's just... You could have said anything else, but no, they just say your friends. That's just jinxing it. If you know, like you're I'm from a superstitious family, and we would never say stuff like that. You got to touch wood because you're asking for trouble when you jinx something like that. Or maybe he did lie to you, and that's why his friends are.
We never know.
Evil women
We'll
of the
never
internet.
know.
It needs to be on a t-shirt.
Oh my god.
Yeah, maybe you. Yeah, maybe you know what? Maybe you know what, Liv, it is your fault.
Excuse me. Cut that out. No, I just like, because what had happened is we were meant to, it was like loose plans, but we were meant to see each other on the 8th of January. The fire started on the 7th of January. And I was on the phone with my sister. My sister just hates men, like, to begin with, right? Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I'm like, I love love, and I love people, and everyone's my best friend, and everyone wants to connect. And my sister's like, I bet you he's going to use this as an excuse not to hang out with you. And I was like, no,
that's
like,
such a sister
I was
thing
like, he'd
to
never
say.
do that. Like, no one would ever do that. I wake up in the morning, and I get a text message. I'm, like, going out for getting a coffee. I get a text message like, oh, hey, like, everyone's evacuated.
Your
like,
coffee cup's on fire, and you're like, what a bastard.
Literally. I'm literally, like, taking pictures of the sky, and it's all cloudy. Look, it sounds really bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, the photos
Like,
on your story were horrendous. I was just like,
no,
wow.
I know, but it's like, I'm laughing about it, but look, I went to a comedy club in LA, like, the last night that I was there, because things started to open up in the city.
The act was on fire.
It was fire. No, but even the comedians were making jokes about it, so I feel like, and they were from LA, so I feel like if the LA people are making jokes about it now, like, I can laugh about my own misfortunes in the city. Anyways, this has been a long conversation about LA. Let's review a wine.
Yeah, let's review a wine. The elephant in the room, which is literally our wine.
That's literally our wine.
And we are reviewing this even though this...
How topical. We're doing the art of embracing awkwardness, and we're reviewing the elephant in the room. That was totally on purpose, guys.
We always plan everything ahead, as we said earlier. Ready for a beautiful... Oh.
Chris!
So my chiropractor hears after he goes, oh, so how's the weather? My neck. All right, we're going to put them into my gorgeous goblets because... also, I didn't even acknowledge the fact that I was drinking out of, like, the most, like, hearty from Middle Earth cup.
And,
what do you even call this?
A mug?
A mug? A beer mug?
A jug?
A jug?
A jug.
A boob.
The tit.
For those who can't see it, it's an absolutely ginormous engraved cup. Jug, mug, tit.
No.
What?
Fill it to the brim, why don't you?
I'm going to review it thoroughly.
Not that we haven't had this wine 9,000 times.
Well, yeah, so we'd actually recorded an episode as a home episode last year.
Yeah.
And
but our
being tech goddesses, we didn't record it. So it never ever got shown to anyone. So we never got to display this wine, and this wine became our favorite one.
It did.
And it's such a shame because on camera we would have had the first sip that I had of this.
Oh, you did.
Where I was like, try this.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers.
Ah! Tastes
perfect.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's such a beautiful wine.
It is. It really, really is. Like, ode to the elephant in the room.
Should I do the little review of the back?
Yeah, can you read it like an auctioneer again?
I'm not doing it like an auctioneer. I'll do like an old-timey news
whatever
presenter or something. Journalist. But we'll let everyone know first off that it is a Cabernet Sauvignon. It is a red wine from South Australia. 2021. It's called the Mammoth Cabernet by Elephant in the Room. And it is actually, I'll tell you that bit at the end. All right, so Big wines with lots of oak are increasingly hard to find. Odd fact is, winemakers hate talking about them and yet drinkers love them. There's a jolly good reason. They're lip-smackingly delicious. We think it's the elephant in the room, or more accurately, the cellar. This Cabernet Sauvignon embraces everything that was great about gargantuan wines before the style police took control. A monster of mouthfeel. It's big on lush, dark berries, fashion 0, flavor 10. 14% alcohol. She's taking you to the ground.
She's gonna get you where you need to go. So, straight off the bat, I'm just gonna give a little sip. Yeah. I think it's got pretty mammoth flavors in there. Some luscious berries. Definitely tastes gargantuan. Yeah, I would rate this wine 12 on 12, and that's the Liv scale of Liv Reviews beers. So, cheers to the elephant in the room.
I concur.
She concurs. Not gonna lie, it kind of tastes like soap, and I have a feeling that that's to do with the glasses. I don't think you know how to wash dishes.
No, I don't.
No, I don't think she does. She
No,
just
I
like
don't.
puts the soap in, rinses it out, done.
Oh, what's funny is I'm pretty sure that it's because for anyone who's not watching, these are copper, like, handmade goblets.
Maybe you're not supposed to put soap in them.
I think maybe it's the copper that's actually the soapy flavor.
Maybe, could be.
I think that's actually partially what it is. Because
maybe.
I'm pretty careful when I wash these. I try to keep it very diluted because I am worried about them. Because I'm not sure if they're actually supposed to be drank out of.
Oh.
So for anyone who's not watching,
Yes, they are. They're goblets.
Okay, but these were made for a film set.
Who cares? I'm sure they drank out of them on the film set.
Yeah, I know. But they were made for a film set. So they're absolutely
beautiful.
gorgeous. For anyone who can't see them, they are copper handmade goblets. They're like twisted designs on them with amethyst and citrine. They're just beautiful. I suspect they were made for Xena, the Warrior Princess TV set, because I bought them in Hamilton, New Zealand, where they're doing a lot of the filming around those sorts of parts. And I can't think of anything else. I think I wrote down something else that I thought it could possibly be for, but anyone watching who sees these and thinks they could be for that New Zealand film set,
photo.
let us know, because I would love to know where they're from. I was just obsessed with them when I saw them. They just had to come home with me.
You called me.
Yeah, I called
like,
you.
I found these goblets.
I was
Oh my
like
god.
sobbing, like I found the love of my life. I was like, you have no idea what I just met in a secondhand store. I couldn't believe it, my luck when I found them.
Yeah. Well, you know, some days you get lucky, some days you don't.
This is one of those occasions where I often watch films that like, this thing is cursed, and they take it home. And you're like, why would you buy that?
It's Annabelle. It's like coming into your bed at night.
Annabelle,
They're
every
tiptoeing.
time I've ever seen that, though, anything with a haunted doll story, I'm like, you know what? That is your own fault. If you see that kind of doll with the creepy ass eyes and you go, you know what? She needs to be in my house watching me while I sleep. That's on you, because what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
These things, if they haunt me, I'd be like, fine.
It's fine.
Fine.
Like it could be like a genie comes out of it. Like that would be kind of the vibe of
I've
these
rubbed them.
mystical. Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, if something comes in my house, I'm rubbing it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll line up at the door.
I love how the sofa is suddenly looking a lot more suspicious.
Welcome to our casting couch. JK LOL for legal reasons. That was a joke.
What would be wrong with
I have a job.
Oh, okay, for legal reasons.
For legal reasons.
Yeah, for legal publicity reasons.
For legal reasons, my name is Aliona.
Yeah, no one knows your surname anyway.
Yeah.
Just so it sounds like a detective.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, because otherwise we'll ramble.
Was there anything else about your trip you wanted to tell us, though?
Oh, just it was really nice. I got to meet my niece again and my nephew. I have 2 nephews now and a niece. Just family stuff, you know. First time in Canada. It was fucking cold. Oh my god. This is... Okay, a little context on the way that I live my life. This is probably just like... It's just chaos. Like, it's absolute chaos. And, like, my friend Alexia, I was on the phone with her on Christmas, and she was talking to my sister because we were all on FaceTime. And she's like, hey, Emma, my sister, do you have any concerns about the way that Olivia lives her life? And my sister looks deadpan in the camera, and she's like, it's fucking chaos. I was like, yeah, that's me. So I arrived, so my flight was Auckland to LA, LA to Calgary. I landed in LA and my phone died. And I didn't bring a charger with me on my trip. Like, I brought my New Zealand charger,
Yeah.
but I didn't
Not an
bring an
adapter.
adapter. So I was like, I text my sister from the airport in LA, and I was like, my phone's at 1%. My flight's landing at 6 p.m. Please come pick me up. Phone died. So I'm at the hotel. I'm at the airport bar getting drunk with some random stranger that I met.
Did you not ask the bar if they had a charger?
No. I was just getting drunk.
Liv.
I met a guy who has a podcast. So I was talking to him about it, and I was like, I've started a podcast, blah, blah, blah. So we were just chatting.
I feel like if we throw a rock down the street, we can hit a guy that's starting a podcast.
Or a girl. Or one of us. Everyone starts podcasts.
What do you mean? We're so unique.
We're 1 in a million. We are probably 1 in a million, considering there's like 8 million people on planet Earth. Anyways.
We'll do the math later.
Yeah.
Run it up in the comments.
My phone had died. So I text my sister, I was like, I'll be there at like 6. Can you come pick me up? My phone's dying. Whatever. Get on my flight, it's like another 2-hour flight from LA to Calgary. 2.5, something like that. I land in Calgary. I'm wearing Converse leggings, like 3/4 leggings, so my ankles are showing. You know my I'll say it. You know my lesbian rugby jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that when you bought it.
Yeah.
So I was very into it. I was like, buy that.
It's just the best descriptor word for it. It's like
it looks like it's straight out of Bottoms.
Yeah, well, it's a Melbourne Football Club rugby jersey that's like an XXL, and I wear it all the time.
If she puts it on and we're out together, we're a couple.
We're a
like,
couple.
That's just,
I'm the butch one.
There's no two ways about it.
But I love it. It's my favorite item of clothing. But I was wearing...
my wife, she's already at the table.
Yeah. She's over there.
My wife's over
drinking
there.
the beers. So I was wearing that Converse and like little leggings. And so I get out of the airport, whatever. I go outside because I was like, oh, my sister's coming to pick me up. My flight was delayed an hour. So I landed at 7, not 6. So I told my sister 6. Luckily, my sister works in the aviation industry, so she was tracking my flight. But I go outside, and I get there, and I'm like, fuck. I don't know what kind of car she drives. So I'm standing outside the airport. It's negative 15 degrees, and I'm wearing, like, basically no clothes.
At least you had the jacket on.
Yeah, at least I had that.
Yeah.
But have you ever felt negative 15 degrees?
Yeah, I have, actually. Yeah. Because we do go down to the...
That did nothing.
Actually, good question. Maybe I haven't. Because where I'm from in Northern England, we go down to about minus 11.
Well,
I'd say that's about where we go.
Yeah, well, that's you'd know it then.
Yeah, but I feel like what difference does it feel at that point onwards?
No,
I have friends.
It does.
I know. I have friends that go down to like where they're from. They go down to minus 40, and they were like, "Oh yeah, after minus 25, the school's closed." And I was just like, I just can't fathom.
It does. No, it does.
I can't fathom that.
Cold. I genuinely like this is kind of like the point of it is like I forgot how cold gets. Like you just when you live in a country that the coldest temperature is 10 degrees. Oh yeah,
the coldest it gets here is I need a leather jacket. Like really, that's the coldest it gets.
My leather jacket will do me good.
Like growing up, it would be that if you have like a slither of skin showing, like where your glove and your jacket are, you have to cover it. Like you have to fold 100%. It over because you're like I can
frostbite.
feel that cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we get frostbite where I'm from.
Well, we
just get very cold. But just get sad.
So I was waiting outside the airport. So I waited outside for like 10 minutes, and I was like, fuck, I don't actually know what kind of car my sister drives. So I was like kind of walking up and down with my suitcases, like just shivering and shaking and stuff. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I can't find her. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck at the airport. My phone's dead. So I go back inside, and there was like this guy like greeting everybody that got off the plane, like out of the airport. And I was like, hey, like, do you know where I could buy a charger? And he's like, oh, you can't. The store's closed. I was like, oh my god, Calgary fucking airport. It's 7 o'clock at night. It's 7 o'clock at night on like a Tuesday.
Why would an airport have shops that
why?
close? That's what I wonder. It's like
I don't know.
Because I wonder this when I go to airports.
It's such a small airport.
I know, but just staff them.
Yeah.
Like just staff them.
I don't know. I can't.
It's a safe place with lots of security as well, so you only need one staff person.
Shout out Calgary Airport. Please employ someone at your Rogers store. Thanks. Anyways, the guy was like, but we don't have a charger, but you can go make a phone call over there. He was. It was
1938 and I was in the trenches.
The airport. He was like, you can go make a call over there, and I was like, amazing. Like I don't know anybody's phone number. Like how do you? It's 2024.
My gosh! Why haven't you remembered them?
Who the hell remembers a phone number?
I would say yours, but I know yours.
You know my phone number?
Yeah, it's like 027-242-8008.
I'm so happy that you're 1 digit off.
Am I?
Yeah, you're 1 digit off.
Is it 424?
No. You got everything else right. It was just the beginning of it, but that's fine.
021.
Stop it!
We can bleep that out.
My 100 fans are gonna
Okay,
call
well now
me.
I got it right,
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
got it
never
right
forget
now.
again. There we go.
Okay,
Huh. You're wrong. Some people remember numbers.
I don't remember numbers.
It's the autistic redheads.
Yeah, you're right. You're autistic. I'm just ADHD. I'm like, everything will be fine. I don't need a charger. Wah! Like, it's horrible.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm both, which makes it hell.
At least you remember the
Oh,
number.
yeah, but the ones I remember aren't going to help me in an emergency,
No.
really, because I'm remembering
call
you
me.
and your phone's dead.
Yeah.
You're in Calgary Airport, like, hey, help me! And I'm calling my nan in England and my best friend's home phone number from when I was 5.
From 2001.
I'm like, hi, Diane, is Laurie there? Can you save me?
Yeah, literally. No, so got the whatever. He's like, oh, the phone's dead, blah blah. So then I whip out my laptop, connect it to the airport Wi-Fi. I have a MacBook, so I was like,
You can,
I was able to iMessage, and I was like, found my sister, amazing, awesome. But that is my life.
we
Like
would
that's
not
my
have
life.
survived before phones.
I wouldn't have. I show
You
up.
wouldn't have survived before babes.
I would not have survived before vapes. Every year, it's my New Year's resolution for the last 3 years, as long as I've been vaping, to quit vaping. And it's 16 days into the new year, and I have not quit vaping yet.
I've only seen her twice, and I've already seen her at least once do the stomping around
Panic
and
dance.
looking. I always say, like, when Liv loses her vape, I can only liken it to when you're in the supermarket and you see that someone has lost their child, and they at first do the silent, panicked looking for them, because they know that they should not have lost it. They are the only people to blame, but also, where the fuck are you? And that's what I see her doing. She doesn't live with my cat anymore, so she can't blame him, apart from today when my cat was here and you were here. But yeah, you looking for that vape is so funny, because you look so stressed.
It's
Like
really-
something awful will happen.
It's really bad.
It inevitably is going to be down the side of the sofa.
It's really bad.
Like 9 times out of 10.
Addiction's not,
Addiction is not a joke, kids.
it's not a joke.
Don't vape.
Don't. I never, it's a lie, I can't say that now. Before I started vaping, I'd never even puffed a cigarette.
Yeah.
It's just like nights out, people would be like, oh, do you want to puff on my vape? I don't want to puff on my vape. Puff up on my vape. Puff up my vape. And then, what do I know? I'm buying vapes, and now I'm vaping. And then it would just be that, like, I wouldn't vape, like, I'd leave my vape at home, and I'd only take it on nights out. And then it became, I would only do it at, like, after work, because I wouldn't bring it to work. And then it became, I bring it to work, and then it became, I vape every 15 minutes.
I feel like I have a hack, but my hack is not recommended. My hack was I never trickled up through, like, things like, a bit of cigarette, a little bit of a vape, and then a bit of alcohol, and then a little bit of weed, and then, you get, steadily up in the ranks. I feel like I was like, yeah.
Crack.
Bam! No. But, like, psychedelics,
Yeah.
and, like, things like that. And like, again, weed, and it was just, like, when I finally smoked a cigarette at, like, I don't know, 20 or something, I was like, what does this do? It's like, what is it for? And I was like, it feels like it's just for spending money and losing money, and I don't get it.
I've seen
Oh
you
yeah, on a night
nights
out. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
you
I
love
do
a
love a cigarette on a night out. Yeah, drunk Robyn loves a cigarette. But again, it doesn't count if you've never purchased it. And I've
Yeah.
never purchased
Just
cigarettes in my life.
You go up to random strangers like, can I please have a cigarette?
Can I have a cigarette? And if someone gives me a menthol cigarette, I'm like, ah, beautiful. What a time to be alive. Don't smoke, kids.
Don't.
This is such a bad...
Don't smoke, kids.
Don't smoke, kids.
Don't smoke, kids, to our 100 adult friends.
Yeah, don't smoke, kids. We have no children.
We have no
listening to this.
children.
And if you're a child listening to this,
Go to bed.
go put on the snowman. Go do something else. This is not for you.
Alrighty.
Should we crack into some stories?
The art of embracing awkwardness.
Which we do.
Yeah. So I think I said this before as well, but like I think my life, Robyn said this. She led me into it. My life is kind of just like a big awkward moment that doesn't end. It just continues. It does. It just continues. Awkward, awkward, awkward. But I don't it's not that I've got really, really good social skills and like EQ skills. So it's not that I don't know when things are awkward. Like I fully understand that it's awkward. I'm like, this is so awkward. But I'm just like, So awkward. I'm not dead. Like, I'm not dying. It's not that big of a deal.
Oh, again, you can move on from them. It's not...
100%. Just move on from it.
Awkward moments are not life-altering. They're usually just funny stories you can pop in your back pocket.
So that's kind of like the takeaway, and I'm giving the takeaway before I give any stories, so...
You're like, and to summarize...
I'm giving you the goss without giving you the... I'm giving you the thing. I'm giving you the stuff.
Don't give me the thing.
I'm giving you the cow without the milk for free. That's an expression.
Yes, it is.
It's
I was going to mention it after you gave your review for the wine. I was going to make a joke about milking elephants, and I was like, I'll leave it. Yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Now everyone knows. But there it is.
Milking the elephants.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about?
Because it's wine. It was like juice from the elephant.
Ah, okay. You're weird.
No, it wasn't a good joke. That's why I left it.
Yeah,
but here we are
it's
now.
a bad joke. We're milking cows.
I'm milking my joke, really.
You are trying to. You're definitely trying to.
I've got nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Do you know that?
So
meet the parents.
Some awkward moments. One of the ones, because again we were talking about this before, and then I was like, I don't really have any awkward moments, because again, like I don't really think anything's that awkward that it like stands out. But one of the really awkward moments, and this is probably a trigger warning, and just like a little insight into Liv, little Liv trip for you. I used to say that to my ex, because I like to talk about, like, I like to, like, give random facts, right? I'm like, and he's like, what's that? I'm like, a little bit of Liv trip? Like, Livia trivia? My name's not Liv. It's Aliona. If you are tuning in now, what's my name? Comment below. I feel like this is getting progressively more unhinged. The wine is 14%.
I was going to say, I'm taking that cup away.
Yeah, you should. Take it away from me. Take it away, girls. Okay, so one of the really awkward moments that I've had in my life that stands out to me was about 4.5 years ago. It was probably the first week that I started working the job that I'm in now. Work in a very corporate company. I was in the kitchen one day making like a coffee or something like that, and I've talked about him before on here. Nelson, one of my coworkers, came into the kitchen, and he's never met me before, so he goes like, oh, hi, I'm Nelson, does like this whole chit chat, whatever. We get chit chatting a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, no, like I lived in Italy, I did this, I did that, you know, me, my ex, whatever. And he's like, oh, like are you and your partner like I don't know, are you and your partner settled down or whatever? I can't really remember what he said. I was like, oh, no, I'm single now. I was like, oh, he got a little bit too happy with his hands. The look...
Like, first time meeting someone.
First time meeting him. I've met him today.
And he's just like...
In a corporate setting, at work. I met him today. He looks at me like are you all right? Are you okay? I was like, oh, ooh, maybe people don't like hearing about my trauma.
That could have been worse.
On the first day.
Like, he could have turned around to you and been like, oh, same reason my wife left. That might be the darkest episode of the darkest joke of the episode. But we'll see.
Domestic violence is not a joke.
Glares at me.
Wink.
Wink, wink. Unless you've been through it.
Unless you've been through it, then this is how we get through it. Is we joke.
Yeah, then you're allowed. Then it's okay.
That's
how it works.
I feel like I have a pass in life. Like, I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want because I suffered.
Every single person of color leans into their computer at this point. Like, she's specifically talking about domestic violence.
Talking about being domestically violenced.
Yeah, only happy-handed exes.
Are we being cancelled before we started?
I'm all for records.
Put the wine down now, guys.
Oh, that was
one.
So funny. There was like a first. Like,
it was the first encounter. It was the first.
Obviously, it worked out because you guys are friends.
We're friends
now.
Yeah.
But also, it explains why it was only like a month ago that you hung out for like the first time outside of work.
But we've hung out a bunch of times, but me, him, and my ex.
Yeah,
not the happy-handed one, but a different one. We've hung out a bunch of times. Like, I love that guy. I have so much love for him in my heart. Like, he's such a beautiful person.
Well, everything I hear about him from you and also from
From Todd.
From Todd as well. Like, it's been all really nice.
He's honestly, like, he's such a pure person. Like, because he looked at me in that moment and wasn't like, ugh. Like, he kind of was. It was like, he didn't know how to react, obviously, because I share too much. I'm an oversharer. I
also feel like you got it. It's also, to be fair, it's still a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like a new, if you also feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. Oh, everyone.
/ also have a story.
I feel like everyone would feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, everyone would be uncomfortable.
Everyone would be like, oh, yeah, I just met you.
You definitely.
And you're my coworker.
You definitely sucked in that moment.
You're my coworker.
Like day one of
like, hey, let's trauma
something. Yeah. This is what we do in the kitchen.
Yeah. I love kitchen chats.
Yeah, whatever kitchen stays in the kitchen until the podcast. 4 years down the line.
Yeah, 4 years ago though. It's fine now. It's free territory.
Different lifestyle.
Yeah.
A whole lifetime ago. Oh, that's so funny though. Day one. But I'm trying to think of what, which one should I go with first? I'll give you cues for each one. So I have water aerobics, hamster, do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
Okay, so one day, many moons ago, back when I was in England, this was after I'd lived here and moved back. So it was in the 2-year gap I was in England.
Okay.
Back for. I had a tummy pain going on, like a little abdomen pain, which is like not unusual for women. I've been ongoing, and it was somewhat unusual for me, but I have endometriosis, which if you don't know what it is, it's where parts of your womb can grow outside of the womb and stuff like that. I actually haven't had issues with it for the last 4 years, but previous to that it was ongoing. And I needed to be seen by a doctor. I called my local doctor's office, and being the NHS, who are amazing but always backed up, they were like, oh, it'll be about 2 weeks before you can see someone. Or if you could just like go into town today in Liverpool, they have a sexual health clinic, like a drop-in day. And you can go see them, just like queue up, and then you'll get seen today. And if it's something more, then they can refer you and it'll be faster. And I was like, sweet, I'll do that because I'm off today anyway. And I was in pain, yeah. So I was like, I need to be seen. So I went to the walk-in clinic, which is always an experience.
Always.
Because really it's only destined for those who are like 17 and under and worried that they're like pregnant. So I was 22, surrounded by teenagers.
And they're like, you're too old to be here.
Pretty much how it feels.
Take birth control.
How it feels. It feels like you walk in and they throw like holy water and condoms at you.
Oh, that's not nice.
So I was like, they're really good, the nurses. But I, queued up, finally got seen. I got seated in the room. The male nurse seeing me goes, hey, is it all good if we have a trainee paramedic in the room today? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, again, I'm just there for an abdomen check, so it's not like anything big. I was like, all good. He was a young guy. The male nurse was like this tiny little middle-aged man. And the paramedic was a young, quite tall guy, and he was sat on a chair. The male nurse was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to get my, filled in little notes and stuff. And then he left the room, and it was just me and the trainee paramedic. And I'm sat in the little chair next to the computer. Trainee paramedic just sighs, looks down, goes, I fucking hate this job, And I was like, oh, because
you're 21. You're like,
well, what do I say to that? He was like same age as me, and I was like, oh, why? And he goes, I just had to tell a 16-year-old girl she's pregnant, and she cried. And then I was like, oh, and then the guy comes back in,
he's like, I love it.
And I just moved straight back into being seen again for my issues. Got laid down on the table, and he does like the little tummy presses and little like little tapping on different areas that you never really know what that means.
Yeah.
And then he brings my leg up, like my knee up, and he's like, okay, I want you to push, like, I had my foot against his body. Again, he's quite small. I'm talking like maybe 5'1", this guy.
Oh my God.
To like 5'3", like he was about my height. I'm 5'3", so real small.
I feel like I know where this is going.
Yeah, so he goes, okay, I want you to push as hard as you can. And I stop and I go, hey, I don't want to be like that person, but I'm a personal trainer. That's my day job, and I'm a strength coach. Like, I am strong in my legs. I don't want to push you as hard as I can because my legs are fine. And he was like,
you'll go through the wall.
He was like, no, I'm good. Go. And I was like, no, I'm gonna go at about 70% to like 50%. And he was like, no, just go for it. So anyway, I just push my foot down. The guy falls over. So he goes flying. Then he jumps back up and goes, go again. Do it again. With this, like, and me and the other guy, the paramedic, both at the same time go, why?
He's like, I love the rush.
It was like something, his eyes had lit up. It was like he felt something in that moment that he had never felt before.
God.
He learned something about himself that day. But it was just me and the paramedic going, why? Like, obviously I'm fine. Whatever that test means.
Whatever that test means.
I
have strength in my legs.
Yeah, it was like...
Thank you, doctor.
I still have abdomen pain, what the fuck? Yeah, weird moment.
So where I thought that was gonna go...
Where did you think that was gonna go?
I thought it was gonna go like you push your legs up like that, and you just tooted, and they're like, oh, you have gas.
No, I splattered a guy, and then he had a full, like, dominatrix trampoline moment.
He's like, please.
Do it again.
Please kick me again.
Do it again.
Please kick me again.
But it's just the whole thing was so awkward from, like, beginning to last. And I was, like, the patient who wasn't delivering any of that awkwardness either, which is usually not the case. I usually am the person making the awkward situation happen.
You are.
But in these occasions, no. I was just a victim to awkwardness that day.
And how did you handle it?
I honestly just left after I got my notes. Like, I just didn't even have to deal with this, man.
Goodbye.
I think that this guy then just, like, it was just a weird moment.
Weird.
It was so weird. All of after that was like a blur. I just like was like, yeah, okay, notes, referral, left. So because you get seen so quickly as well.
That's good.
So to have a moment like that happen within that time is also bizarre.
That's good. I had kind of an awkward moment at the doctor once. It wasn't like, I say this as awkward, but it's also kind of a flex. I went in once. I had like really.
She cracked a speculum.
I don't know what that means.
You know, the thing that goes up to, like, check you.
Yeah.
I'm saying you cracked it.
Oh, it's got tight pellet floor. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have teeth.
Making sure.
Ma'am, please get that out your mouth.
Yeah. I'm just there biting it, like, contorted.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Surprise!
So sorry, I had a drink. I thought I was at the dentist.
No, I was at I went in because I had real bad, like, pain in, like, my, I don't know, this area, like here. Abdomen.
Yeah, same. Again, it's
the
just
abdomen.
Like, it happens to women.
The abdomen. I had pain there. And so I went to because, like, you know, here they do, like, the White Cross that, like, they'll emergency doctors that will see you and then you get referred to the hospital or whatever. So I went there and he's like, yeah, I think it's like an ovarian cyst or an ovaries problem or your ovaries contorted or whatever, blah, 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 bullshit.
He's like, hysteric womb, go.
Yeah, doctor, gynecology. So they sent me to the hospital. I spent about 3 hours in the hospital ER waiting room. So I'd been at the doctor's for like 6 hours that day, right? And I'm like fucking dying in pain. Like I'm like keeled over. Like it didn't feel good at all. Went in. They put me into the gynecology unit for like the women's health unit or whatever it was. Like they deal with women's. We don't want to deal with that. It's just the women's unit. So went there. I had to stay overnight. Not because it was like, well, one, because they thought I was gonna die. Because if you have, they did. Because if you have like, if your ovaries like twist, you can die.
Yeah.
So they wanted to keep me overnight just to make sure that I didn't die. So I stayed overnight, and the next morning they did like the ultrasound. But they did an ultrasound. It's like an internal ultrasound. Yeah. So it's like literally like this is to be graphic and for legal reasons.
Okay, I literally have another story for you after this.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. It's like a dildo that they.
No, that is what it is.
They put it into.
That's what it looks like.
And they take a picture of your uterus and your ovaries and stuff.
This is what they had to do for my ectopic pregnancy. Yeah. It's like how they search the ovaries to see if like that's what's going on. They're so uncomfortable.
Oh, no, it was horrible. But so this is where the awkward moment comes in. So they put this ultrasound thing in, and like, oh, it might be a little bit slippery, blah, whatever. It's so awkward, because you're just, like, lying there, like, spread eagle. And the girl, like, at the end of it, she's like, oh, my God. Like, wow, oh, my God. Like, making, oh, wow. Woo, 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 wow, 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 woo, wee, woo. And I'm like, fuck, I'm dying. Like, I'm dying.
I really hope if I'm dying, someone isn't going, oh, wow, wee wah.
Wow, wee wah. Oh, wow, wee wah.
Oh,
like
wow.
Borat sounds. Like, wow,
just
wee wah.
Owen Wilson going,
Literally.
wow.
Literally. And so I'm like, oh my, like, I'm like, y'all right up there? Like, what's going on? Can you please, like, fill me in? And she's like, you have the most perfect uterus. I was like,
and you're like, that doesn't help me.
I'm like, thank you. She's like, can we take photos of it?
And you're like blushing. You're like, oh.
She's like, can we take photos of it? Because this could literally be used in a textbook for like what a uterus should look like. It should look like.
The Tesla logo.
Yeah, I was like, there you go.
This is it.
Take a picture of inside of my body.
This is the uterus.
So, guys, if I am anything,
I'm a perfect uterus.
I'm a perfect uterus. Impregnate me. Kidding. I don't want kids.
She's a Tesla. The only difference is she's asking you to fill her up. All right.
That's a great joke.
Thank you.
Did you think of that yourself? Or did
yes,
you hear
just
that?
now.
That's a fucking great joke.
Thank you.
That's a really good joke.
That's why I started a comedy.
Oh my god. Did you?
Just now, yes.
Are we a comedy?
Well, we're trying to be. That or we're traumatizing people both. Because we go both ways. Just kidding.
I don't.
She doesn't. I do. Again, back to the speculum thing. Okay, I have to tell you this entire day, actually, because of the ectopic pregnancy thing. Because I think I have to give you the precursor story before you get to the awkward story. And unfortunately, the awkward story isn't my story. It's my sister's, but it's kind of my story.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. So I had an ectopic pregnancy that I didn't know was happening. So I have an IUD, and I had me and my pain in my abdomen. I thought I was... Abdomen. Me and my abdomen Eve were having so much pain that one day I called the doctor and I was like, hey, my anemone is having so much pain.
It's an amnem.
I'm going to die because of my anemone. And...
Nailed it.
I was like, I think my idea is like, pierce the wall of my uterus. That's all I could think had happened. Like, it was like, I think that's what's going on. It was so painful. It went on for 4 days before I did finally call them because, used to pain, woman stuff. And then they were like, okay, yeah, we'll get you into family planning as like an emergency appointment. I went in there to get seen. They're like, yeah, it's probably moved. That's probably the issue. But they always give you a pregnancy test because they force you to do it upon entering. It's like, it's just their welcome basket. Yeah, it's like you arrive at like a yacht, they give you champagne. You arrive at family planning, they give you a pregnancy test. So I got sent for my pregnancy test, and it was positive. I dragged the doctor into the room, and I pointed out, I was like, what's that? And he was like, oh. And he gave me another one. And then I did that one, and then I dragged him back in. And if you know IT crowd, I dragged him back in, and I was like, 2 of them now. And I was like, look at them. And he was like, oh. And then he looked to see what was going on.
Yeah.
He had a look at the IUD, and he was like, oh, bad news. The IUD's perfect. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, if the IUD's perfect, it means that you have an ectopic pregnancy, more than likely. Because if it was moved, then obviously...
What does that mean? What does an ectopic...
It means an egg has implanted in your fallopian tube and gone pregnant. Which, if that bursts, you will die.
Oh,
so you have
fantastic.
to surgically remove it, basically. And obviously the egg, it cannot survive. It's not where it's supposed to be.
It's not like a baby.
It's not where it's supposed to be. Yeah. It's pregnant, but it's in a tube. It can't survive. So I was like, well, that sucks. So then they send me to the hospital because they're like, well, we need to get you seen immediately. I get to the hospital and it's in the time of COVID testing. They test me for COVID and they're like, it's positive. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, can you just check me for meth at this point? Because I was like,
You're like, actually, please don't test me for anything else today.
I just feel like I'm striking across the board today. So they send me to like a little lonely room. And I'm isolated the entire time. And I have to be in there alone. They then isolate me into my own little room because I'm pregnant and I have COVID apparently. Who else knows what else I was positive for? And
well, hopefully nothing.
They were like, okay, so we're gonna check you. So they bring in the dildo ultrasound thing and check me. So
it's
uncomfortable.
Also huge.
It's unnecessarily huge. It's unnecessarily big. It's just for handling for their part, but it's very scary to look at. Like it's literally like this long for those who can see. It's like if Subway delivered footlongs the way they should do, that's how big it is.
It's huge.
At minimum. It's thin. So anyway,
little lanky.
Yeah,
lanky boy.
Little skinny boy.
Anyways.
So anyway, they're trying to find it and they can't. So they can't find it at all. And they're like, that's not unusual to not be able to find it because it's in the tube and it's quite difficult to see sometimes. So they're just like, we have to keep you here and we have to decide whether or not we're doing surgery. Which if they're deciding whether or not they're doing surgery, I went to this appointment like first thing in the morning. It's, midday at this point. They're like, we just can't feed you. I guess at 11 p.m. at night. And they go, we're not doing surgery. So then they give me a dry ass meal and leave me in that room overnight. And then it's the same thing again the next day. They don't feed me all day. And at the end of the day, they go, we're not doing surgery. Here's a meal. And then the next day, they go, okay, we're going to remove your IUD and we're going to send you home because nothing's happening. And I was like, worried. So I went home and nothing was happening until all of a sudden the pain came back. And I was like, oh my God, I need to go to hospital. I get in an Uber to go to hospital because again, I have to be separated anyway.
Yeah.
So I get there. On the way there, I suddenly get this horrible sensation that like the world flipped upside down. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It was a weird topsy-turvy feeling, and I genuinely thought I was going to die. Like, I was sending out the I love you, I'm so sorry message. And my Uber driver was the sweetest man ever. He was a Ugandan angel.
Well, you had COVID as well.
Yeah, I know, but he was such an angel. I mean, I had to go to hospital.
Yeah,
just
no,
I get there, and he even takes me into my wheelchair and wheels me in. He's like, God has you. And, like, he was such an angel.
That's
I loved
so
that man.
sweet.
It's like, don't leave me, John.
Like, please stay with me. Come with me up.
Then I get put again in another cupboard.
Yeah.
Because like she has to be isolated. I'm in another little cupboard for the day. They finally found the thing. And it's like that big. Like the mass. And I'm like, okay. It's like 2 inches big. But it has managed to leave my fallopian tube of its own accord, which never happens. They were like, we usually have to surgically remove this.
Now. It's like, it's going for a walk.
They were like, we have to surgically remove this normally. The body never normally pushes it out, but that's what that pain was.
Yeah.
That extreme pain I went through. Because the fallopian tube is literally like millimeters across. So it had stretched to that and like removed it.
Oh, fun.
Because unknown to people, most
Good
people.
for the body.
Right?
Good
I
for
thought
the
that was the
body.
most incredible thing ever. That
Yeah,
my body has
like,
managed to
no.
save me. It's like, she ain't dying today, bitch.
Yeah. It's not her time.
It's not her time. So anyway, that happened. They eventually sent me home because like there's nothing they can do at that point. I'm just going to be
in pain,
passing it at home basically. Unfortunately, that's what was going to be the next thing for me. Then a month later, my sister calls me, panicked, and she goes, "What did your ectopic pregnancy feel like?" And I was like, it was like the most extreme pain ever. Like it was just, I described the whole thing to her. And she was like, oh my God, I'm going to hospital right now. And she goes to hospital and I don't hear back from her. It's been like 4 hours at this point. I'm so panicked at work. I call my mom and I was like, why has she not got back to me? Is she okay? And my mom goes, oh, she went to the hospital after 20 minutes of pain. She had wind.
God. Yeah.
So
what I thought your first story was about. Yeah.
So all I can imagine is her arriving at the hospital and being like, I have an ectopic pregnancy, I'm going to die, and she just farts, and then they're just
Leaves.
like, and she's like,
Farts, walks away.
And then goes home.
Crop dusts through the crowd and then leaves.
Wah wah wee wah, I'm fine.
Wah wah wee wah.
It's like, all right. Different actor, but you know.
Different actor, but the best one.
The best one.
I wish I could do this.
The sweetheart. I said like molasses.
When I do my S's, and then I would be just like Matthew McConaughey. And
Just like him.
Just
like him.
Just like him.
Looks and all.
Yeah, we definitely have the same chest size. Spit gags.
For those who cannot see, Liv has a ginormous chest.
I have ginormous titties.
If you're not watching, why are you not watching?
No, they're not called that. They're called Tig Old Biddies.
Or gargantuan, as our wine calls it.
No, Tig Old Biddies.
Tig old bitties. I like tig old bitties.
Tig Old Biddies. Because it's not...
Big old titties. I do know it, yeah.
You're not dumb. Nice. Good
Thanks.
to know.
And you're on to your next one. You have to follow that up. That wasn't a scheduled story, but I had to bring it in because it... Yeah, well, I feel like when else did that come back up? And I feel like it's so...
Oh, I don't think it would.
It was such a funny moment. Obviously, the rest of it was, like, pretty awful, but for anyone who's dealt with womanly issues...
Or endometriosis. I feel like that's such, like, an under-talked-about topic. Like
It's so common,
it's
too.
It's actually really wild.
It's like 1 in 10.
How many people I know have endometriosis, and it's like... I don't, because I don't have it, so I'm like, I don't fucking know what that is. But it's like, I have endo.
Bloody dreadful. Like, when you're going through it, it's bloody dreadful. And for lots of women, it's their entire lives. I was very lucky that I was one of the women where it's like, it is a wives' tale that having a kid will fix your endometriosis. But for me personally, after I had a daughter, I haven't had issues. Other than the IUD issue. Yeah. And obviously that IUD was not for me. So
was that before or after Rua?
It was after Rua. Oh. But that IUD was not for me. It was the lower amount of hormone one, and that's just not good enough for me.
You know, I've never taken birth control in my life.
Yeah, I do know that,
yeah.
but that's like
never,
good for you.
But never an IUD, never anything, because it's just like I just feel like it's so scary. Like
it is.
I don't want to do hormones. I don't even take medication. Like I don't.
Yeah, I mean, my preferred would be taking the copper IUD, but because I have endometriosis,
You have to take the
I
other one.
have to take the other one. I can't take the others, and unless I just like swear off men and go just women,
What do
then
you
I
mean,
don't
what do you mean
want to
swear
do it.
off men? I make everyone wear condoms. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah, but that's still not 100%, you know? So, like, for me, it's, like, that's still scary. Like,
Is
you know?
it?
Yeah, that's still, like, scary to me.
Just with a condom.
Yeah, but also I'd rather be on, like, if I'm only having sex if it's, like a relationship. So, for me, it's, like, I'd rather not have that there anyway. I'd rather not have that barrier, and also it's not 100%.
Yeah.
Not that birth control is 100%, as clearly stated by the fact
I
all
think
of these
pill's
things.
100% isn't.
No.
No, this is not.
No,
This is not an information session.
No, none of them. None
of this is advice.
No birth control is 100%. That's like.
Honestly, I don't know. I've just never done it because, like, I don't know.
No birth control is 100%. Ask Virgin Mary.
Well, awkward.
Awkward.
How did she handle that awkward moment of telling her parents she was impregnated?
Well, but she was just pissed off. I'm like, imagine how pissed you'd be. You'd just be like, what?
Imagine how pissed you'd be. I gave birth to the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'm so mad.
Yeah, but he got killed on a cross and then had to come back from the
you'd
dead.
be
I would
pretty
be
mad.
pissed.
Yeah,
I'd be
you'd be
pretty
pretty
pissed
mad
with the
about
entire
that.
thing.
You'd be mad at
I'd be like, didn't get you any sort of protection deals or nothing. And they're like, oh, but on his birthday we eat chocolate. Like, I'd be pretty annoyed. Oh, no, his death day. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, his birthday's Christmas, yeah. No, even better. On his birthday, we all open presents around a tree.
Mary sitting there like, I fucking hate all of you. I fucking gave birth to... Anyway. Cut all this out, I think. Cut it out. My next one. My awkward moment I had recently. This is just like, if you don't look in the mirror, I think that's the problem. So I went to work, and I was viewing a flat at the same day, so I left, the flat was near my office. It was like a 15-minute walk, 10-minute walk, something like that. So I left the office and I walked down to the place that I was viewing the flat, and it was a very humid day. Like, you know how New Zealand gets like really hot and humid?
Awful.
It's like probably like 10 degrees or 15 degrees, but
it gets
humid.
so wet.
It's like 100% humidity. So I walked down there, got there, did the flat viewing. Flat viewing was absolutely fine. Flat was great, whatever. Didn't end up taking it, but it was a nice place. Walked back to the office. But I was, like, hot the whole time. Like, I was, like, hot and sweaty. Thank you so much. I was, like, hot and sweaty the whole time. So I get back to the office. I go into the kitchen. I go into the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I walk out into the office. Luckily, on this day in the office, it was just me and my team. And, like, marketing. Marketing are cool people. My team, I could walk out naked and my team would be like, Liv, we love you. Like, we have such a good relationship. They'd just be like, you're an idiot. But so I walk out, and like for the audio people, I will explain, but for the visual people, I will show. So I walk out of the bathroom and I go, guys, look at this. And I like grab my titties and I lift them up. I'm wearing a brown bodysuit. And underneath it was just all black. Because I had sweat.
Just the sweat.
I sweat so much through my bodysuit that it was just like this thick layer of like sweat underneath that was visible, like, to everyone. So I got to that flat viewing and my titties were just leaking of sweat.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. That was awkward. That was an awkward one. But then, like, again,
I feel like anyone with boobies, though, like, understands and has had a similar moment to that, depending on what sort of, like, attire you like to wear. But, like, that's, like...
it happens.
It happens.
It happens. But, again, I think that's probably actually more of a testament to how I don't actually think anything's awkward, because I saw that and I walked out and I was like,
guys, look at this!
Everyone, look at my titty sweat! How
you
funny!
Embraced it.
I did embrace it. It's what you gotta do. Life's too short. Like,
well, if you don't embrace it, you gotta, like, unless you're someone who has no awkward moments, which I don't believe is the case of anyone, what are you gonna do?
My
Feel
alternative,
miserable all the
literally,
time?
but
Like,
my alternative option was that I sneak into the marketing cupboard, grab like one of our like supplier T-shirts, put that on, and then go out like as if nothing happened.
yeah,
Instead,
that's ugly.
I just chose to go, everyone, look at this! What the fuck? I've been walking around with this all day. And they're like, ooh, Liv, titty sweat, ha 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 ha. Had a funny moment, we bonded, we love each other, we're closer.
There you go, boobs. They bring the world together.
They do. And our sweat.
So I feel like mine was a more awkward thing just to embrace because it wasn't like a haha with my team. So I had similar-ish thing happen where I got these, and this is a lesson for everyone, do not buy super, super cheap leggings. So I ordered some super, super cheap green leggings online, and they did look amazing on my ass. Like, they're just like, really thin, buttery, beautiful material. Went and did a whole workout at the gym, went and did Stairmaster afterwards. Like, I was pouring. And I went from there to go to the swimming pools to go and do like a swim and then a sauna and things. Got to the pool, took my leggings off, and I had been dyed green.
That's so bad.
Were
they from Temu?
They're from Shein.
Oh,
so from my waist to my ankle, I was green.
That's horrible.
Like, green. And I just had to be like, so I got into the showers and like scrubbed my legs, and like the water it's coming off green like in the soap, but they're not like changing color. And if anything, like, because I'm like scrubbing myself, I can't tell anymore.
You're also
going
like red.
Yeah, you're going like lighter because you're like obviously putting pressure on things. I was like, fuck, I'm obviously tinged green. Like, it's not gonna go away like that. What did take it away was going for a swim and for a sauna and then another 2-3 showers.
So like 5 showers in total.
So like 3 days later.
Yeah, thank you, Shein.
Actually, I've done this a few times. So another time I've done this was I go to these parties in Auckland called the Undie Party, where it's a dress down event, meaning you're just in underwear, and they're themed. And one of the ones I went to is called Sugar Rush. So my idea for a costume was to get just like pink cellophane, like purpley pink cellophane, and I wrapped it around and made a bow, so I looked like a sweetie wrapper. So like a Favorites kind of thing, or a Quality Street, if anyone knows what they are. So I went, obviously had an amazing night and partied, got home, took off my cellophane, and I dyed my entire boob and back pink in that area. And that stayed for a week.
Oh, wow.
Because I danced for like
hours,
8 hours.
Sweating.
Yeah, just sweating and dyeing myself. Because I never thought about it.
Yeah, you wouldn't though. You're having fun. Your friend Molly's probably there. Like, we're all having a great time.
Exactly, and just didn't even regard the fact that it was
sweating even more.
Yep, tinging myself pink. But yeah, it was bloody awful. Yeah, I've done this so many times. It cannot be good for you. As a one-off, though, it's probably not the end of the world.
No, one-off.
But yeah, sweat's gonna land you places sometimes.
Sweat lands you places. Oh, I've got my last one. I completely forgot about this, but this is, I think, if we're talking about the art of embracing awkwardness, Liv has mastered this, okay? I'm going to take a sip and then tell you. So, I go to this bar in Auckland. Tamaki Makaurau, where I'm from. And I don't know how I actually started going there. I think I went there one day on like a friend's recommendation, and then I just kind of like kept going, and I kept going back. And then I fell in love with the bouncer. Not like literally, like I'm not like platonically, that's the best word. Platonically, I fell in love with the bouncer. Like, I love him so much. We are best friends. So one night, I've been going there for like months. I've been going there for months, and me and the bouncer are like best friends. We had like the best chats, whatever. And then there was a private event one night that I knew that I was not going to be allowed into. Our friend Lee was like, oh, just like when you get there, like tell him that like you know me, and then like we'll come and get you and we'll let you in. And I was like, nah, it's not going to work because like I'm not part of the event. But he's like, oh, just try. And so I get there and I like talk to Eric, the bouncer. And he's like, nah, you're not getting in tonight. He's like, maybe in like an hour, but there's like 100 people that still have to come through here. So like, not now, but maybe later. And then I was like, oh, no, okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We had a little bit of a misunderstanding. I called Robyn to tell her like, hey, I'm not getting in tonight. So like, goodbye. So her and Lee came out to say goodbye to me. So I'm, like, there at the door, like, I'm, like, hugging them and whatever. I'm like, oh, bye, I love you guys so much. He looks at me, he's like, if you fucking called Lee, you can get the fuck out of here, blah, 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 blah. I look at him, I'm like, Eric, we're best friends. Like, why are you speaking to me like this? Like, with the level of disrespect in your voice right now. The scene. Eric has about 45 people trying to sneak their way in. They're running, they're pushing, they're breaking the gates, and I'm there hugging Robyn and Lee.
Like, over the barriers. And to give, like, context, that night was a fight night.
It was an MMA night,
me and Lee and a bunch of other friends had been to an MMA night, and we watched the fight live, and then we came back to the club, and it was, like, an associated party. And it is usually, it is a members-only place, generally. But, yeah, like, honestly, they end up getting into this, like, big argument out front. Because Eric had misunderstood that Liv was trying to, like, pull rank, basically, using our friend who's, like, quite well known to get in, which she wasn't. She was just calling to say, like, I'm not gonna get in. It was
for the sake of safety. I was like, hey guys, like,
yeah, we want to know that you got home safe.
You were expecting me there, so I was like, hey, look, I'm not gonna make it in tonight, blah blah. And you're like, I'll come out and say goodbye. So both you and Lee came out and say goodbye. Whatever. Me and Eric get into this big spat. Whatever. I go home and I'm like, I just got into the fight.
What have I done?
I just got into a fight with, one, this is the only bar in Auckland that I like going to. Two, I love Eric. And I was like, I was so sad about it because I was like, we're best friends. What? So, if you want to talk about the art of handling awkward situations, here's a lesson. I didn't go back for 1 week. Coincidentally, because I was running a half marathon that weekend, so I, like, actually couldn't party that weekend. But then I went back the week later. I was with my friend Robyn and my friend Miriam. And I got them... It's so funny. I went out and bought a bouquet of flowers. And, like, the place that I have to go to, it's, like, up an alleyway. So I got them to walk in front of me. And I was walking behind them with the bouquet of flowers covering my face. And then as soon as they pulled away, it was just the bouquet of flowers that Eric could see. And then I moved the bouquet of flowers, and I look at Eric dead in the eyes, and I'm like, for you. He looks at me with, like, I don't know.
First he was confused.
And
then I think he was like, they're not really for me. And you're like, no, they are. And then he
was baffled. He's like, for
softened
me?
like butter.
Like butter.
He was like...
He melted.
He was like, no one's ever gotten me flowers before. You gotta imagine this man is like, he's bouncer guy.
Huge bouncer guy.
Very, like, stereotypical bouncer guy.
I'll put a photo.
He won't mind. We'll ask if we can put the photo of him with the flowers, because I think it's, like, the most classic, like, Thugs Need Love Too. Like, a little photo. Yeah. And he looks so cute. Obviously, I was like, you are nuts for this, but it's very adorable. And it did work.
It worked. Now I skipped the line. And
now he continues to put up with her.
Yeah. Well, no, now I go there and there's like 30 people in line.
And he's like,
Liv, get in, you bitch. Fuck off. Go. I don't want to talk to you at the gate.
Because I want to fight you and have this whole thing here again between me and my wife.
I don't want more flowers. I'm allergic. I would keep giving them to him.
Are you filming? You are.
No, I think that was the art of handling.
That was handling.
I spoke to him about it as well, and I was like, Eric, like, it's actually, because it sounds stupid, it's like a bouncer at a club, but I actually really like Eric. I think
that was the main thing. You didn't want it to be like a shit thing between you two.
I didn't want it to be a shit thing between us. Like, he's a really, really nice guy, and I really like him, and whatever. I wanted to make peace with it, and so I told him, I was like, like, he's like, I put that to bed immediately when you left. Like, I know who you are. It was just a chaotic night. And I put it to bed, so I don't hold any negative feelings. But I was like, Eric, I have not stopped thinking about this since the day it happened. Like,
she's like, it has played.
I'm like, it's played on my mind in repeat.
And I was like, she's been messaging me while I've been away.
Yeah.
Asking about this.
Should I bring him flowers? Is that crazy?
And I was like, yes, but you should do it. Why not?
But I am crazy. But Eric accepted my crazy. I love people who accept my crazy.
As we hope you do, listener.
You guys will, because you're not dating me.
Okay, so back when I would have been about 18, 19 years old. I think I was 18. So at that point, I was living in Northern England. Again, this is going to require so much backstory at another point. I was running an events company, and I was doing kids' entertainment, because I was mainly doing kids' birthday parties. And because of the time that it was, I was Queen Elsa for essentially 2 years.
Frozen.
And it meant the kids at every single party were giving me cake. So as you can imagine, I got rather chubby. Because you can't turn down a birthday girl going, have a piece of cake with me, Elsa. I was like, of course, my child. So I would eat party cake like 5-6 times a day. And then I had decided at some point, enough is enough. It is time to join a gym. But I was in a tiny village. So the only thing I could join was water aerobics. So it was me and a bunch of women no younger than 75 in a pool. And I get in there and I'm wearing the most amazing Star Wars one piece that has R2-D2 and C-3PO on the front. And it's an actual like screen grab from the film. And I get into the water aerobics class. I'm waiting for it to start. The guy arrives and he is a very good looking guy. He's about 25.
How old are you?
Like 18.
18.
So the instructor comes out and he's like this hot 25-year-old guy. And I am like, oh my God. My time to shine. I look amazing right now. Like, I am Margaret Qualley in the substance in this moment. Everyone is fucking old. And I am beautiful. Though
in my R2-D2 costume.
Star Wars look quite, very dorky at that time in my life. But I am beautiful. So I'm giving it everything in the aerobics class. And he is not looking at me at all. It's like I'm trying to catch his eye and he is avoiding my gaze.
You know
at every fucking chance. And I'm like, oh my God, why is he ignoring? I'm like trying to catch it. I'm like Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging. Like I am like,
that's such a good movie.
And great book.
Great movie.
I am trying to catch his eye at every fucking turn. It gets to the end of the class and it's like, thanks guys, see you guys next week. It walks away. I look down and my boob is out. Not even my favorite. And it's been out just flopping.
That's so embarrassing.
For the entire... That's why he's been avoiding my gaze. He's like, I don't look at her boob. So he's been actively avoiding...
How did you not feel it?
I was in the water. Like, everything is bouncing and moving. Like, no, I didn't feel it. I was too busy trying to, like, you know...
Catch his gaze.
Catch his gaze.
Oh my God.
No, I never went back.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
I remained fat.
You can't go back.
I remained fat until I got a trainer here.
Like,
and became a trainer myself.
No, bye. Ha 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 ha! Her story was so funny. The camera died, but
the camera died. Camera died, so this is where we're at now.
Technical wizards, we are.
We truly are.
It's why you love us. It's why all 101 of you love us.
Yeah, no one is here for tech support.
Yeah,
unless they're having technical difficulties, in which case they're here for support, so they don't feel alone. they're like, at least I'm not them. In a similar way.
Like, they make me feel better because we're really bad at tech.
That's how I watch like horror movies when I'm sick, because I'm like, you're having a worse day than I am.
But thank you for watching Poor Decisions, episode 4.
What do you think was the poorest decision of all the
What do you think the poorest decision was?
I'm trying to think of what I think was. Maybe my sister for going to the hospital with wind.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's just straight up dumb.
Pretty poor decision.
That's a pretty dumb decision.
What else was there? There were poor decisions. Not looking to check that your boobs are in when doing water aerobics.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, but then again, I have that every week at the beach. Like,
this is true.
It just happens.
I mean, my bikini came off when I went swimming the other day at Next Gen.
Yeah, so you do it every day. You didn't learn
Just funny, because they just told me off as well, because they were like, hey, if you're going to watch the tennis, because you can see the tennis games from the top, like the rooftop pool. They're like, if you're going to watch the games, then you have to put a top on.
You go to Next Gen.
Oh, I just went with Marjorie the other week.
Oh, okay, because that's where my friends go.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's the best gym in the city.
I'm supposed to go there tomorrow for like a walk around thing.
Does Marjorie go there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's very expensive.
It is. It's very nice, though. I had a little look there, and they were like, yeah, if you're going to watch the tennis, you have to put a top on. I was like, yeah, I'll get in the pool. Got in the pool, and then my bikini top immediately fell off. And I'm like, maybe they had a point. Yeah. My boobs just come out in pools.
Yeah, they do. But that's what they want to do, because they want to swim.
They want to be free.
They want to swim. Okay, guys, this has been another episode of Poor Decisions with
Robyn and
Liv. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, do the thing. Yeah. Do the thing.
Do the YouTube things.
Do the thing.
Do the things.
Give us that internet that we need. Okay, thank you.
Do one more time. Louder for the people in the back. See, look, guys.
Like it just for that.
You want that again next week? I won't do it, but she will. And who wants me to? Because nobody does. Everyone hates me.
We love you. Good
you.
night.